Morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. G'day. As soon as the video starts, the dogs start barking. That's just the program around here. Today, this is going to be a quick little video. Say that about all of them, don't I? It's about some news that I had. You guys probably remember a video I shot in the orchard, the first one. Probably about 2 weeks ago now, I want to say. It was 2 weeks ago. I was told some information that day by somebody pretty high-ranking that, well, I can talk about it today. I was told that QE stopped, okay? There they go chasing that chicken again. Yeah, the chicken's fine, don't worry about it. They had started QE program up again. And yeah, right, big news. I haven't heard any other channel talk about it. I knew about this 2 weeks ago. It hadn't showed up on their books yet. It just did today. And I noticed it on the Fed site, the Fed's site, when I was looking around for what they were going to do about CBDCs coming up in the future. So I have some inside skinny on some of that, and I'd like to kind of talk about that right now. There's Bruno back in the video. Well, what happened was, okay, they were supposed to wait because they wanted to roll out QE. I believe they said they were going to roll it out in October originally, and then it was going to be July. I want to say it was July. And so when they decided they were going to do all that, they had both these groups. Remember, I keep talking about the two families at the top, the two people that move the Western banking money around the world. These people are in a big all-out war. Well, one side decided that they were I'm not going to wait. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I don't care what we told those people. Typical of spoiled people that they are, you know, they don't hold a treaty. They're really bad at making deals and following up with any of it. They think they rule the world. They don't rule the world. You and I rule the world, and I've talked about that before, but they manipulate the world is what they try and do, and sometimes they fail, and often they fail. Well, they failed this time, and they got caught. And they got caught by the other family. Oh, we had an agreement. Well, that triggered a few events, okay? But they were pretty upset about the whole FTX thing because that was one family's little gig, and they got exposed. All the people behind that whole FTX thing got exposed, which is very rare, never happens. And then what just happened over this past week, well, last Thursday, Friday, when SVB, as you all know, is in the news, Silicon Valley Bank, got, they were landslided, is the way I like to call it. All of the big players who didn't agree with that family's going after the QE money that they said they weren't going to do, said, oh, okay, you want to play that game? We're going to go after this bank. That's essentially what happened. So they went after that bank. They had a bank run on that bank. And that upset the family, the WEF group, if you will, who the president may or may not be a member of. I'll let you decide that for yourself. And they came after that bank, and it was going to be insolvent. We knew that by Monday morning. They knew that, so they got together with the Treasury, and the Treasury is who? Miss Yellen. They're all in this together. Well, the other side of the family, if you will, the other family involved, this is all my speculation based on a whole lot of proof and evidence that I've learned over the years and that I hear from other people. The other side of the family is essentially supported by the Fed, okay? Or they have closer ties to the Federal Reserve, should I put it that way. Well, they're more of a sovereign attitude. They're less of a globalist attitude. I talk about this in a lot of different videos, but I'm getting to a point, I promise. Well, that group said, well, we're going to expose this whole bank. So they did. They came after that bank. Then the other group that Monday morning said, well, that's it. We're going to take what you and I don't know yet, QE money to pay the FDIC what's happening there. Oh, well, you're going to spend that kind of money. Oh, okay. So that family came after the Swiss bank. That's kind of what happened there. I'm generalizing big time, but that in a nutshell, that's what's going on in the world right now. You and I need to stay out of their way. You and I need to. So let me backtrack. I hope that was clear. I try to make this as simple as possible without getting banned on this platform. That means to you and I, okay, that they are no longer liquidating their books, meaning the Federal Reserve, and they are no longer not allowing QE. They are all back on the drug, if you will. And they both have decided, okay, well, skip that. They were going to wait to roll out QE3 so that when they launched the CBDCs, that's what they were going to do with it. Well, tensions being what they are globally and geopolitically, they decided to, push the can, open the envelope a little early on one side, and the other side said, well, if you're going to do it, we're going to do it. Okay. So when you understand that that's what's going on right now, the reason why we're having this bump in this market is because people are putting money, taking dollar assets, and they're putting them into hard assets. I do honestly believe that people are starting to understand that crypto is a big part of people's futures. However, they're cutting off the on-ramps and the off-ramps through these banks because they don't like it. One family likes it less than the other family, if you will. The on-ramps and off-ramps are the hard part. So do whatever you can if you're going to purchase more now or in the future, and right now is probably a good time to do it, but not advice, but get it off the exchange, because when you get it in your cold storage, I don't even care if it's printed on a piece of paper in a vault. Get it off the exchanges, because the exchanges can be corrupted, crushed, and this game in which they're playing, you can be a casualty on one side of that and the other, and you don't even know you were on one side or the other. You didn't even know that by owning XRP, you actually are supporting one side as opposed to the other side, if that makes sense. Or Bitcoin or whatever, because they both have their favorite chosen networks or programs or coins. I've gone over that many times. Okay, this now is where we're at. So QE comes into the picture. They're going to start throwing cash around again. This means that it's a good idea to obtain assets. I'm telling you once again that you need to prepare yourself, because you don't own the crypto if it's not in your cold wallet. You don't own it, okay? Right? I do believe in digital wallets, if you will, or internet wallets such as, well, there's a bunch of them out there. The Atomic Wallet's really good. Exodus Wallet's a good one. I mean, there's many wallets out there that I believe those are pretty safe because they're not having any ties to any banks. You know what I mean? They're just offline, completely offline. But you're better off, even better than that, with the Ledger Nano X. Is the new best model that you can get as far as Ledger Nano goes. Okay. Those assets have to be in your hands. Silver or gold or any form of precious metal has to be in your hands. Your land should be in your hands. Hard to do, I know. But if you can pay it off, you should own it the best you can. I know you'll never own it because you always have to pay tax, property tax. I get that. But whatever you choose to be your foundational asset that you believe is not only an asset for preservation of wealth, it's also an asset that you know when they start blowing bubbles and printing and QE that they inflate. And then you can possibly get out after they've gone up a lot, okay? That you could sell a few of them off to pay debts or buy the land that we just talked about or your property, okay? I think we're in that time again. I'm not trying to tell you that, you know, the stock market's going to go through the roof, or silver is going through the roof, or crypto's going through the roof. I'm just telling you that they've opened the doors again of QE until I hear otherwise. I would have told you guys 2 weeks ago. I was told I couldn't, and then I heard it, and then I read it, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm coming out with a video. And that's why I'm making this kind of an emergency video, if you will, explaining what happened this past week or two, and that I knew QE had begun again, but I couldn't prove it, and I couldn't really talk about it. I was asked not to say anything, and as you guys know, if you guys call me or contact me or get a hold of me and you have inside information, I won't reveal it. I mean, unless you want me to, you know. So, and even then I won't even talk about who gave it to me, because I don't operate like that. That's just not the program I run. So, anyway, that was just a quick little video. I know it's going to be launched this weekend, so I want you guys to understand this is a good news in the monetary world. However, it shows more tension in the structure of the US dollar being more weak, and they don't care about it. They don't care to preserve it. They understand what they're doing to it, and they're full willingly going along with the demolition of it, because it serves their self-centered short-term need for whatever it is they need it for at the time. And they're playing games, and you and I need to get out of their way. And the best way to get out of the way is a hard wallet, own the silver yourself, or whatever assets that you believe are going to go up in a market that when they start printing more money. Now, I know the question you're asking in the back of your mind is a really good one. I'm glad you asked it. Does this mean they're going to stop interest rate hikes? I don't believe that to be the case. I think they're going to continue it. I know it sounds counterintuitive that they would keep printing money or start the printing press again, okay, but raise interest rates. But if you know anything about times or cycles in the past, the best times, some of the best times to ever buy real estate in the history was when real estate or the interest rates were really, really high, but the value of the homes were going down. When that starts to occur, you know kind of the signs of the bottom of the market, particular real estate would be in. And I'm not saying that we're even close to the bottom of that. I'm just saying it's not unheard of to have them print money, blow bubbles, and the bubbles not show up in certain assets, in particular real estate, because real estate's always a lagging indicator, and it is at least 6 months to a year and a half out. Okay, so I do believe they're going to continue to raise interest rates, and yes, I think they're going to QE to their buddies, is what they're up to right now. And that means all these small little banks are going to be consumed by the larger banks, and I have more videos about that coming out real soon. I don't really want to just make this channel about banking and the, I don't know if you can call these families cartels. I guess that's one way to put it. I guess it's, some people are calling it a terrible term to call them the cabal, because evidently that offends Jewish people for some reason. I still haven't had that explained to me, but anyway, maybe somebody could put that in the comments as to why that's offensive to the Jewish people, what the cabal means. So that's somebody told me that one the other day, and I thought, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend people. I have used the word in the past, but we'll call them the cartel. I like to call them the families at the top, because I've met members of these families. I've actually, yeah, I'll kind of leave it at that. All right, guys, I'm trying to make this a quick one. QE has begun. I know you've heard it a million times. but it has begun. What it's going to mean to your life, it is going to inflate assets. Does that mean that we can't have a correction and they go down? Kind of means that. Depends on who they give the QE to and who they choose to bail out. And currently they seem to be bailing out the little guy or their friends. I don't know if you notice, all the people in SVB were all millionaires, and they bailed those guys out at the tune of QE. So, all right, guys, I'm rambling on now. So just a short video over the weekend, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. I love you guys. This is good news for a lot of things. In particular, I think crypto will go up. So again, with that, I'm out. Yeah, so I met this guy the other day. Great guy. Love the guy. He's he's a Native American Indian. Love the guy. Awesome. And I said to him, I said, hey, I'm going to start this barbecue business, and I'd really kind of like your support in the community on this. And he looked at me and he said, I don't eat pork. I went, what? Yeah, I don't eat pork. I'm Jewish. And I said, well, actually, I thought you were a Mono Indian. Yeah, but I've taken on the heap. Practice the Jewish religion. And I went, oh, so that's all you have to do is practice a religion that makes you Jewish. He looked at me and he goes, yeah. And I said, well, I thought you were like a tribal leader or something. And he goes, oh, yeah, I still am. Yeah. I said, well, I looked at him and is there tax advantages? I mean, what do... He looked at me and he goes, shh, don't tell anybody. Yeah, of course. I did it for the tax write-off. Oh, man, you are an entrepreneur. Well, I found a whole new respect for you, brother. Yeah, don't tell anybody.